Live from the Rez here with special guest, the Magic Man himself, Mr. Kenny Shelton in the house.
How you doing, Ralph?
Good, man.
Thank
it's good
you.
to see you.
Thank you for having me here on Live from the Rez.
Yeah, I wanted, man, when I started doing Live from the Rez, you were like one of the first people I thought about having in here.
Oh, well, thank you.
Because you've always been interesting to talk to and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I've known you forever, but because I don't know many natives that are magicians.
Really?
Like, that's a thing. Like I mean, I can think of a lot of Rez rappers. I can think of a lot of Rez, all kinds of things. But when I think of an actual magician, you know, I mean, when I was little, I used to do the little thing for my kids with the missing
little
finger.
thumb, yeah.
But I'm talking about like real magic. I don't know a lot of magicians, period, but especially native magicians that, you know, are Rez raised. And so I always was like, I got to get Kenny in there. So I'm glad that you're here, man.
Well, thank you for having me with everything that's been going on. It's awesome to be here. And I can't wait to share you my history of magic and even teach, even do a trick with you and everybody who's listening too. So for the people who want to do this trick later on in the show, they're going to need a total of 10 cards.
All right, so you're going to need 10 cards.
10 cards of black or red.
Black or red. You can have either or?
Either or.
Okay.
It could be from the same deck, different deck. But if you don't have cards, if you have index cards, you just need 10 of them, and you're going to write an X on 5 of them.
Okay, write an X on 5 of them.
And if you have Uno cards, you get 5 colors on one color, 5 of the other. If you have Uno cards, and you should be all set.
All right, so those of you guys just tuning in, we're going to do a magic trick here in a bit. And 10 cards.
10 cards.
I like that. You don't have to have the regular cards. You can have Uno cards. You have index cards.
Yeah.
As long
even business cards.
Even business cards.
Or
all
even
right.
10 pieces of paper.
You know, I never actually thought about, like, if you didn't have a deck of cards, you probably could just make them at home. I never even thought of, I wonder if there's anybody, that's pretty ghetto, man. We have to make your own deck of cards.
I think some people have made their own deck of cards. You can even make your own ESP cards. Some people have done that.
What is ESP cards?
It's like mentalism effect where it has like the wavy lines, the circle, the plus sign, the star, and the square.
I've seen that before. I don't know what that was.
Those are called ESP cards.
ESP cards. Interesting.
Yeah, and a lot of mentalists in magic. That's what they're called, mentalists.
Oh.
They like read people's minds and stuff.
All right, you're already starting to do it. You're already starting to do it, Kenny. I want to say the first time, well, my history with you goes obviously way, way back. Everybody listening in, and then our grandparents, come up on the same Rez, great-grandparents. Yep. We have the same roots here in Viejas. Our people come, are from Los Caneos, Capitan, the old valleys, coming here.
Yes.
And, but I grew up with your older sister, who was only like a year or two older than you, but she was in my grade. And I got to say, the first time I met her, like Alpine Elementary days, we rode the bus together. And dude, this is a terrible story, but they used to have at lunch, you could sign up and go play different sports. So I signed up, and I was a chubby old Indian kid, but I signed up, I want to play this, that, whatever. I think it was like basketball or whatever. Tetherball was the sport, Yeah,
tetherball.
But the lunch ladies, the aides or whatever, they are like, you have to do this race. You have to run. And I was like, all right, well, I'll do a couple sprints if I'm going to be able to go play tetherball after. Meanwhile, I'm like, I shouldn't be racing nobody. And this is like first, second grade maybe. I mean, this is old school times. They lined us all up, and I remember like your sister beat me in that race. She was like hella fast. She was athletic, and I wasn't. But I lost to a few girls, and she was one of them. And I remember going like, "What the heck?" And but she, she was always. I hate to say it like this, but she was always the smart one in our grade level.
She was. She was very smart.
I mean, all of us Rez dudes were always messing up and getting in trouble, and on the bus in the class. I mean, all the way through middle school. And I remember like in 8th grade. Old Joe McQueen days.
Oh, yes.
They would choose one native to get the Clarence Brown Award. And it was like obvious that it was like the award for excellence. The native kid had the award that an Indian could win was like the excellence. Yes. The one Indian kid who did the best, I guess you'd say, or whatever. But but I remember when it came a time for the award, everybody already knew. It was like, oh, that's Yvette. She didn't win that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we go to Granite, and then when I first met you. We were randomly in a class together, Miss Nelson. Yeah. Shout out to Miss Nelson, choir. I was a senior, didn't take Spanish, so I had to take.
I was a freshman.
And you were a freshman, so yeah, there's a spread right there. Yeah, we were in there, like totally different walks of life. Yeah, but, I never once thought about singing in a choir. No, fun class.
It was very unique and fun, and I'll be honest, the trips were fun.
Yeah, that was the thing. They don't hype those classes enough. You're just like, oh man, I gotta be in choir and sing with all these dudes. No. But the trips
Trips
were fun. Yeah.
because you got to see other choirs perform and everything, and even you got to be in competitions and you got awards for however well you did.
I remember you came up to me and you were like, I think you were like, pick a card or something. You were already doing magic, and I was like, what's with this kid with this deck of cards? Because you were a freshman, and I was like, what is this kid? Who is this kid? Yeah.
Who's this little brat?
But yeah, you were all about it, and I was just you know. But I mean, to your credit, you had a focus and a passion for it then already, and that's freshman year in high school.
How I got into magic is back in the 90s. There was a magic show called The World's Greatest Magic that would always come on NBC. That's how I got started, and even also how I got started in magic is getting a magic kit when I was a little tyke. I got a magic kit for Christmas, and I thought, oh, great, this is going to be so awesome. I got a trick that was like a huge box about this big, had over 275 tricks on it. It had it set up to where you can have your own little table, had little areas for all your props and stuff, take it down, hide it, bring it back up. I remember my first little magic show was from all my family, my grandma, my aunt, my uncle, Felix, my Aunt Mary. No, not my Aunt Mary. My Aunt Tiffy, my Grandma Mary, my dad, my sister, and everybody came up and watched, and I did okay. But I am really sad that I don't have that set anymore, because you know how we are kids. We lose stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like so mad at myself. But it's so nice to see that there are still some stores that have magic kits.
That's cool, because I think when you're a little kid, like it's got to do something where it kind of builds, you know, the wonder, the mystery.
Yes.
You know, there's got to be a component of like building. I don't know the word, but just this idea that you can kind of dream an idea that's probably not possible and still see it going to fruition. Yes. You know, the creativity muscle's got to for sure get worked out with magic.
It is. There's a lot of people who create magic tricks for magicians and help out other magicians. What I miss most is the actual magic shop. The brick and mortar magic shop is what I miss.
I want to say, like, the only one I've legit gone through and looked at is I used to always, like, in Vegas. You know,
the Houdinis.
The Houdinis, there was in New York, I think.
Yes.
That's a cool shop. Every time I walk by it, it's not like you plan to go there.
No.
It's just you walk by it and you go like, oh, man. You walk in there and start looking around. That's pretty cool.
My very first magic shop, actual magic shop I went to was down in Seaport Village in the 90s.
Okay.
It was the magic shop and left-handed shop. Mm-hmm. It was right behind there was a main port where they had a water fountain.
Did you say left-handed shop?
Yeah, a left-handed shop.
That's a real place?
That was a real place.
Was it The Simpsons? One of those shows that is...
it was The Simpsons. It was Ned Flanders.
The
left-handed shop, yeah.
That's funny.
But there was a serious left-handed shop that had left-handed notebooks and everything in it.
I mean, I'm laughing about it. If I was left-handed, I'd probably be there every week.
Yeah. But that was my first time in a magic shop, an actual brick and mortar magic shop.
Sure. And
my dad showed me, look, there's a magic shop. I'm like, I was like, oh my gosh, a magic shop. So I go in there and there's all these tricks up along the wall. On one side, it was all magic. And on the other side, it was all jokes and gags. They could pull pranks. And I was like, I want to go to the magic. Mm-hmm. So the very first trick I ever bought from there was called nickels to dimes, where you had a stack of nickels, you placed a little cylinder over them, and they turned right to dimes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's got to be a trick, otherwise you'd be doing that all day.
And one part of it, I remember buying it. I was in the back of the car, and I showed it to my sister. Hey, watch this. I put the stack of nickels on my back of my hand, and I tapped it, and they went right through my hand. And she's like, how did you do that? I was like, magic. I remember that time when you were at Saquon Powwow. Yes.
And I was like, hey, man, you want to come play peon with me? And you jumped to my team.
Oh, yes.
We played, man. We had a good time.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
That was fun, man.
I would love to play peon with you again.
Yeah, we got to do that again, man.
Yeah.
We had a couple of good games in there, but I remember you busted out a magic trick like right before, and everybody was like,
I don't trust him.
We're like, yeah, they were like, wait a minute, I don't want to play with this guy. Man, I forgot it was a card trick. And
yes. They wanted to see it.
I remember distinctly because you like did something, and then it was like, all right, is this your card? And they were like, no, that's not your card. You did it a couple of times, and I'm thinking, oh man, Kenny's got a messed up trick here. It ain't working. And then it was like in their pocket or something.
Yeah.
And I remember just sitting there watching it going like, how did he do that? Like legit, I just watched him do it. Like, how did he really do that? And then we had to go play peon, and yeah, they were super nervous.
They were just like, they even asked the head ref, was like, can we replace him? Can we get a replacement?
I know, I was thinking too. I remember telling you like, Kenny, don't do no magic, dude, because we don't want them to think we're cheating. I'm like, don't come out with like 3 white bones in your hand, dude. It's not going to work out good for us.
Believe it or not, some people do not like magic too.
Really?
Some cultures believe magic is really, really bad.
So do they go like probably the wizard sorcery thought process on as opposed to like it being an intellectual
kind of thing? Like that? Yeah. They go to more of the dark side.
Okay. Of
saying it's voodoo and all that stuff. And I tell them, no, it's none of that.
Yeah.
I tell them all it is a trick. And that's what it is, magic. Trick.
Yeah.
It's a trick that I am going to fool you.
Okay.
It's in there. It's because I'm going to trick you. Mm-hmm. I'm going to fool you, but it's going to be fun and you're going to be amazed.
Yeah, you're not going to be angry about it.
It's
not like they tricked us and took our land, with the broken treaty.
Oh, yeah.
No, this is a fun trick. But no, I think that's like in our I think that's in our culture because there's a couple stories I've heard of like back in the day. There's one that they said a guy would bring in this big boulder. Yes. He was a very elderly man who couldn't really, he looked frail, like he couldn't lift nothing, but he was supposedly spiritually strong. And anyways, he'd pick up this boulder. And I wonder sometimes if he picked it up using spirituality or if there's a magic component to it. I mean, we really don't know, I guess.
We don't know.
But it could be something like that. I think our people have the ability to fool each other a little bit. Peon, definitely a game of fooling the other guy. Yeah.
But going back to the story of the gentleman with the boulder, some of it can be spirits.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. And I believe in spirits. I believe in the unexplained.
Okay.
Very well. And I believe in ghosts.
But you don't put that in your magic.
I do not put any of that into my magic at all. I don't put any type of spirituality. I don't put any ghost stories to it. I just love performing and people.
You ever get anybody do crazy stuff like show up with like a cross and like the garlic or like try to sage you down?
No,
or
I have not.
No, okay.
I think I had one guy who said I was the devil.
Oh, really?
Straight out, you're the devil. Leave me alone. I'm out of here. Actually, no, I do have a friend. That I worked with at Scream Zone.
Okay.
And I used to pick on him all the time.
Yeah.
And I would do tricks to him no matter what. And he's like, I'm not ready for it. No, I am not ready for it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And I'm like, I'm going to do it to you. And one night I did a trick to him. And we were at Denny's after work. And the trick was I had him pick a card. And all through the night, he had his hands in his pocket, just sitting there relaxing. And at the end of the night, I said, hey, man. And he's like, yeah, what? Here, tell me when to stop. Stop. I showed him the card.
Yeah.
I said, okay, you ready? You're standing there. He's like 10 feet away from me. I said, watch this. And I flicked the deck like this. I said, the card's in your right pocket. And he just like, no. He reaches in there. He almost crapped himself right there.
There's something weird when someone goes, check your pocket. You're like, what?
And he almost crapped himself because he's like, how the beep? No, beep, no, beep, no. It's just, I had my hand in the pocket all this time. I can't. No, you are the demon. You are the demon. Get away from me.
He was all tripped out.
He was tripped out.
I'm telling you, there's something weird psychologically when you look and you're like, how did he do that? I'm telling you, I had that experience myself where I'm like, legit, how did this dude do that?
A lot of people, when I go busking, is a type of term of saying of a street performer, a street magician. It's called busking.
Busking?
Busking.
Huh.
Yeah. It's another word for street magic, but the technical term is called busking. Like you have busking festivals and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like Seaport Village has a busking.
My son says bussin'. That's bustin', but I think that's something different.
Bussin' is different. Busking is where you go out and you perform and you put your hat out for a donation.
Oh, okay.
That's what it's called.
That's cool.
It's called busking.
Okay. You've done that for a lot of years, like Balboa Park, places like that.
I started in 2015 because at the time I had to go out there and do it because I hit rock bottom. I really hit rock bottom, and I had to go out there and perform.
What do you by hitting rock bottom? You mean like
I was
personally
broke.
You weren't feeling good, or you're just financially?
Financially, I was.
Oh, really?
I was not financially well.
Oh, so you were out there hustling.
I was out there hustling, making it work because at the time there wasn't many people interested in hiring a magician.
Okay.
Because what people don't realize when they hire a magician, you're not getting a clown as they think. You're getting a gentleman who's worked years, spent hard-earned money on his props and on his material to come and perform for you.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do not understand that when they hire a magician.
Yeah, it's definitely a craft. I mean,
it is a craft.
I think sometimes too, people haven't really sat there and take time. Like, I know you, so I know what you go through. I know what you've done. You know, I'm always curious to ask, but I think sometimes people just see a performer show up and they just assume like, well, they're just doing it and that's it. Yeah. And I guess with a clown, you can't just bounce around and do whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some work that goes into that, I'm sure too. But I know you put a lot into the magic act or whatever you call it. You know, and I know you put a lot into into every part of it.
Yes, I do.
Every time I see you, you're like, hey, I got this new trick.
Yeah, I do. Oh, okay. But I got to work on the trick first before I go out. And when I started doing the busking aspect of magic, and I really first went out there, I really didn't know what I was throwing myself into. It was a whole entire different world of performing magic. Because the key thing about busking is that you got to be able to get the crowd to come in, stay for a good 20 to 30 minutes for your show, and then have them leave. And
then you're competing with like street dancers and probably clowns and all kinds of stuff out there.
Street dancers, sketch people, other magicians, musicians playing their music really, really loud, drowning you out. And when I don't have amplification, I am just relying on my voice. They have amplification of mics, sound system. And I'm like, all right, we got to go a little louder and louder. And at the end of the day, my voice is like hoarse.
Yeah.
But over the time, I started off getting like a little money here and there. And then I realized I watched other magicians busk. And I got some other people help me realize what I needed to do, steps of how to get the crowd in, how to get the people to stay.
Yeah.
And when I learned those steps, one day it worked.
It just clicked right in.
It just clicked right in.
No dollar menu at Jack's. We're going in and out or something.
No, it just
What's
clicked.
The most lucrative out there? Who's making the most money? The dancers or the artists? Or?
You know, it depends on who is really entertaining, who's really funny, but it all depends on how the crowd feels.
You know what I think's real good about what you do is like I feel like a lot of times we tell our youth like there's these pathways to success, these pathways to do good in the community within themselves. And I think a lot of times, a lot of our youth are, they're not feeling what everyone's telling them, do this, do that, whatever. And they kind of get disfranchised, and then they go down different roads of maybe drug abuse, alcohol, whatever. They kind of lose themselves. Yes. And I think sometimes we need to differentiate what we're telling, young kids, like about pursuing their true interests and passions.
Yes.
And it's cool, it's cool when kids grow up and want to go become a firefighter but a lot of these things are jobs that are very common on the reservations. And it's like there are youth that are uncommon, that want to go try something new. Yeah. And I think it's important to see people doing these things that are not common to know that they can do it. They can give a stab at it, give a try, and maybe be very successful. And, success isn't necessarily always making millions of dollars, or it's not always based in money. It can be based in you feel good about what you're doing, and you're not doing nothing negative. You're doing something positive. You're bringing joy to the world. Yeah. I think that, what you do is really important with that. It's a pretty cool model.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just very happy to be where I am at today. And with knowing so many professional magicians over the years of me getting into magic, joining magic clubs, going to magic conventions. Yeah. And enjoying the highest level of magic club ever, and that was the Magic Castle.
That's in right there in Hollywood, in LA?
Right in Hollywood and LA. That was like my dream. When I
never knew that thing was there. I drove by it a million times, and then I drove by and I saw it one time. I was like, "What is that?" And I remember you were telling me about it, and you were like, because I think you had randomly just been up there like a few weeks earlier or something, and you were telling me all about it. I was like, "Wow, that's pretty cool."
It is. It's a really cool place, and the only way you can get into the Magic Castle is that you got to be invited by a member.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's the only way you can get in.
The Magic members only jackets, or whatever.
It's a member only, but you got to be invited by a member.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you a story. I remember when I was joining a local magic club here in San Diego, and I met two gentlemen. One gentleman, his name was Jack White, and Bob Ingles. And Jack White was a news anchor here for San Diego.
I remember him. He's that big tall guy, the
big
white
tall
hair
guy.
Yeah,
I didn't know him as a news anchor.
Oh, really?
I did not know that. I just knew him as a guy who collected magic, and he had this whole entire warehouse.
Oh, that dude was a magician.
Yeah, he was a magician, and he was a collector of magic too. And he had this huge collection of all old, antique magic sets, magic props, and it's just like, it was an amazing, amazing place to see. And that's where we would have our local magic meetings every like second Monday of every month.
When I met that guy one time, Jack White, and it was crazy because, like, you know, you see him on back in the day. Like, I don't think kids nowadays understand because they got Netflix and all this crazy stuff. But back in the day, especially here on the Rez, it seemed like we only had 5 channels at most, maybe 2 or 3.
Five.
You know what I mean? It was like
5.
channel 6, 8, 10, 12. You know,
and
like
15,
and 15, KPBS stuff. But I remember he was on channel 10, and I watched him. My parents watched the news. I'd see him, and I forgot where we were at, and I seen him like he was reporting live, and I remember going like, "That's the dude from the news." That was like the first. He's like one of the first like celebrities. I know, probably nobody knows who he is outside of San Diego, but you know, for the news anyways. But like that was the first big celebrity that I felt like it was a big celebrity to see in person.
Well, I didn't know how big he was.
Like literally tall, big?
Tall, but I didn't know how big of a celebrity he was in San Diego. I just knew him as the guy, Jack White, as a magic collector. I didn't think of him as a news anchor until my grandma told me he's a news anchor. I'm like, nah.
Yeah, way famous.
No.
So you're like I said earlier, you're like one of the few. You're the only native magician I really know. Yeah. But you don't hear a lot about other native magicians. Are there other native magicians out there?
Actually, there are 2 that I know of.
Okay.
The 2 gentlemen one gentleman, his name is Black Fox.
Black Fox?
Yeah, and he made a very nice 3 shell set. He used to carve these by himself, by hand. And there was a 3 shell set where you hide the pea, move the shells around. And they were called Black Fox shells. And he made a 4 set instead of a 3 set. So you got 1 extra shell.
Okay.
And they were turtle shells or the Arab beetles that were like red, blue, and green. And they were beautiful, handmade. And
is this a recent guy, or is he still out there? Or is this
you know what? I have lost touch with him.
Oh, okay.
The last time I met him was in Nashville, Tennessee, when I went out there for a magic convention, was the International Brotherhood of Magicians convention, where I went out there because Jack White, the news anchor, was going to be the president of this international organization that comes once a year to do this magic convention.
What is that like when everyone's getting together, magicians? I mean, is there a vibe? Is everybody a bunch of, are they partiers? Are they, I mean, what is that like?
There are some who are partiers.
Okay. There
are some who are into the tricks and finding out and stuff. And there's ones who are just meeting old friends again for 1 year again. It's saying, hey, how you been? It's been a year. How you doing? And you got other people who are just going there to go see the dealer room, which has all of the brand new magic that's coming out, supplies for the magicians and stuff.
After all these years, there's still like a bunch of new magic tricks that come out.
Oh my gosh.
You haven't exhausted all the tricks and stuff?
You will not believe how many tricks come out. It is
Seems like crazy. Everything would have already been thought of and done, but maybe
they keep improving on it.
Is that what it is?
It is. They keep on improving on old. They improve on the old.
And is it pretty much all for street performance, or is they got tricks that are probably for like the screen, for big stage or whatever?
Yeah, terms for magic, you have what is called the close-up magic.
Okay.
You have parlor magic, And you have
parlors like
parlor is like a big group of like 20 or 50 people at a party.
Oh, okay. Because you always hear that term, parlor
Yeah,
magic.
parlor.
Okay.
And you're standing there with no big props, just a deck of cards, cup, and little tiny props.
Yeah.
But you make them look bigger.
Okay.
And then you have the stage, which are all the illusions, manipulation, where you making balls appear out of thin air, playing cards, doves, silks, umbrellas.
And a magician never tells their tricks, they always say?
No. I never tell my tricks at all. And if people do really want to know how I do the tricks, you're going to have to pay.
You're going to
have to pay to
Watch
see
it again. Next time you might get it. You should tell them.
But
who's the other magician? Who's the other
the other magician, believe it or not, is Lance Burton.
Oh, yeah, that Lance Burton.
Lance Burton, yes.
Oh, that's a trip. I don't know if anybody thinks native and they think Lance Burton.
Yeah, Lance Burton is actually a part native.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
He's now retired.
Yeah.
He's no longer doing the stage shows at the Monte Carlo anymore.
Yeah, he was there for a long time.
He was there for decades.
Is that like this, when you're like a top-notch, like head of the mountain, top of the mountain magician, is that the spot? Like that's where you want to wind up, Vegas? Or is that for some, not for others? Because it seems like a lot of the big acts go to Vegas.
A lot of big acts. And going back to high school, a lot of my friends were like, oh, you're going to be in Vegas. You're going to be in Vegas. You're going to do this. You're going to be there. And the one year I went to a magic convention in Vegas, and I seen all these magicians up and down Fremont Experience. And I just looked at it, and I looked all in the kiosks. Here's this magician at this casino, this one at this casino, this time, that time, that time. I just looked at it, and I'm like, I don't want to be here.
Not for me.
It's not for me.
Yeah.
There's just too many magicians up there doing so many tricks.
Yeah.
But
the lifestyle, I imagine, is probably don't look appealing.
No.
I mean, you've been on the res your whole life. Go to Vegas. I mean, I always wonder that because, like, I like going to Vegas.
Yes,
but I don't know I'd ever live there. Nothing against anybody in Vegas.
No, nothing against it. It's just
I don't even want to live in San Diego. I'm trying to live over here. I mean, we got a chill life. I mean, I heard some complaints about my dogs running the other day. I mean, other than that, I haven't had drama living here in the last 10, 20 years. Like,
Vegas, to me, I don't know how people can live up there in Vegas. Going up there to Vegas for magic conventions was a big thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And I would go to magic conventions. It was the World Magic Seminar. And then another magic convention that came out was Magic Live.
Okay.
It used to happen only every 2 years. It was a big convention that you never knew who was going to be there. You never knew who was going to perform, who was going to be a lecturer, who was going to talk about magic and teach you some of their tricks. And it was a big thing. I would used to save up for this, and I hyped this up very much for my wife to go with me one time. She was like, yeah, I'll go with you. I haven't been to Vegas.
Yeah.
So we go up there, and we go a few days beforehand, and we go around, do our little tourist thing and everything like that. And then we get ready to go into the Magic Live, and that year it was a big letdown. I am sorry.
The 1 year you take your lady.
Yeah, the 1 year I hyped this so much. I take her there, and it's just like,
That's where I have that luck too. I'll be like, I'll hype something up, and then you bring somebody, and it's just like it's whack, or it's not what it was, and it's like, oh man.
But I am so lucky at these magic conventions. I have met so many magicians and made wonderful friends.
Yeah.
With all these magicians that I keep in contact through Facebook, believe it or not.
I bet social media, right?
Social media.
This whole pandemic and everybody stay-at-home order and all the different things that we've seen in the last 2 years. You're a street performer. You're someone that interacts with the crowd.
Yes.
This has got to just be the worst for somebody in your profession.
It was. At the beginning, it was my last show before the big lockdown in 2020.
2020, yeah.
Was for a birthday party for an elderly lady at 95 years old. Oh, wow. I was doing my show and everything, and they seen me performing in Balboa Park, and they asked me, hey, can you come and do the show here? I said, yeah, no problem. This is what I gave them my contract and everything. So doing the busking at Balboa Park has helped me out a little bit. But once that lockdown hit,
Yeah.
it was like, what do I do? I can't go out and perform. It's like, what do I do? What can I do? Do I go to doing tricks online to where people can rewind and see it and figure it out? Or do I wait until it starts opening up again?
Did that had to bum you out, man? Did
It did.
you feel like a depression kind of hit or anything like that? Like that had to just be really like a bummer.
It did.
It's exciting to perform in front of people, right?
It was very exciting, but it was just like, what can I do to supplement my busking? And it took me a good year or so to figure out what I was wanting to do. And then once slowly things started opening up again, I went out there and it was a different vibe of going out there because I couldn't really have people touch the props or look at the props like I used to. It was
and nobody wants you in their face. Like, hey, let me give you let me show you a magic trick to like get back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's rough.
And I do the old cup and ball trick. And I used to hand the cups out for people to look in and check out and stuff. I'm like, how can I hand the cups to them, but still be safe about it?
Yeah.
So I came up with a way to hand it to them by putting it on the stick so we don't get too close. So they do touch it. And then after they bring it back, I give them hand sanitizer. So they wipe their hands so they know it's clean. And then I wipe the cups down, still showing them they're empty. And then I go through my trick.
Yeah.
And everything like that. And that's where I was like, how are they going to tip me? How am I going to get my donation?
Well, that's the trick is that money does not have any germs on it, no matter what.
Yeah. No.
Maybe quarters, drop dollars, you're safe all day.
Then when I realized I had Venmo and PayPal, and there you go. And then that's how people were sending me donations.
That's
for my show.
Cool. Yeah,
when they just scan it, okay, thank you again. So I was like, okay, this is working. But still, some people came up and threw money in the hat, and I was like, awesome, great.
Yeah, that's tight. When COVID first hit, I had to do I went down to Mission Trails here in San Diego, and I did a talk or a lecture or something on Native American history, Kumeyaay history, essentially, in that region, and it was a bunch of a lot of older people and their families there. It was a packed house. I remember telling them, I said, hopefully I get to see you guys soon, with all this, COVID stuff, who knows what's going to happen or whatever. And it was so prophetic in those words. I didn't know it at the time, but that was like the last time I got it before a big audience because it was like the next couple of days, that next week's when they did the lockdown. Yeah. And it was like really years until I got back up in front of a lot of people to speak. And actually, I emceed a powwow at New Year's. I've done a couple things, but I really haven't done something where I get up in an auditorium and speak to a large number of people like that. But who would have known at that time that was coming down the pipe?
It's like now I ask people when they want to hire me for shows, is it going to be inside or is it going to be outside?
Sure.
And if they say it's inside, I say, I'm sorry. Thank you for letting me, thinking of me to come and perform, but I would rather perform outside. I said venue is better for me. And I think it's better for everybody else.
Yeah, thank God we're in San Diego where it's good weather for that.
It is. Yeah. And then I tell them I have other friends who are magicians who might be able to do your indoor event. Yeah. And I forward them over to them.
Well, I know you do magic, but there's some other, I guess it's part of magic, some of the stuff you do with the juggling.
Oh, juggling's juggling.
That's its own thing.
That's its own thing.
Okay, because I know you do that and mix it in there. That's pretty cool.
Juggling is its own separate thing because all you're doing is throwing balls and catching them.
Hey, you say that, but bro, you're throwing knives and you're teeter-tottering on stuff. I can't even do the tennis ball. I tried.
It's not hard.
You're just throwing stuff up.
You're just throwing stuff. All you're doing is playing catch by yourself. Yeah, all it is it's that you're just playing catch by yourself. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's all it is. I remember you did that one time. I had you come down for the kids here. We were doing the cultural program, and we had singing and all these different things. And I was like, man, it'd be cool to have Kenny come down and share some of his magic and stuff. And you brought that out. You brought the board. You were teeter-tottering on it, and you were doing all kinds of juggling acts. I was like, man, that is lit. Like I can't do that.
I juggle 3 shovels on an indoor board.
You were juggling in high school, though. I remember you were sitting there with either a deck of cards or you were juggling.
Yeah.
I remember you tried to show me that time, and I was like, this ain't for me, man.
Yeah, and people always ask me, how do you juggle? And I show them, and they're like, what?
What's the weirdest thing you've juggled?
The weirdest
Don't tell me you
thing.
threw somebody's baby in the air. No.
Oh, no. The weirdest thing I have ever juggled would be shovels, believe it or not. Shovels.
Like digging shovels?
A little shovels about 3 feet long. Actually, about 2 feet long. I'm just tossing.
Wow, man.
And
we're going to make you go viral. We're going to make you go Indian viral and have you juggle some fry breads. No one's ever done that, dude. Go walk in the kitchen and we'll have someone make it.
Now at the next powwow or gathering, I'm going to go get 3 fry breads. And I'm going to juggle it. I will juggle 3 fry breads, and I will take a bite out of one of them while juggling.
That's tight.
I will do that. That's my okay.
We're gonna record the whole thing. Here's what it's gonna look like. We're gonna say, walk up. We'll go to Kumeyaay fry bread booth.
We'll get 3.
We'll say, can we get X amount of fry breads?
Just 3. We just need 3 fry breads.
And then right there, go for it.
Yeah, I'll go right there. You got
no powdered sugar, no honey. We got this.
Just fry bread, and we'll do it.
That will go viral, dude. I'm telling you.
We will do it. I will do it.
I've never seen that of you.
I will do it. I'll be the first person to do that.
Someone will probably come chew us out and be like, "Hey, you should play with your food or something." But hey, that's worth it.
I will do that. Now you gave me a challenge. I like people who challenge me.
Yeah,
that's what I like.
I guess I'm still a chubby kid. First thing I'm thinking is like, I wonder if he's juggled empanadas. I wonder if he's juggled. I'm all thinking of all the food he could be juggling. I don't know why.
So I think everybody has gotten their cards, I think.
Yeah, so again, what do they need? They need to have 10 cards?
Need 10 cards of red and black from any deck. Okay. 10 Uno cards of any 5 of any color. 5 index, 10 index cards, and on 5 of them, make a letter X on the front and back side of one set of cards. Okay. So all 5 of them will be hex, and then the other 5 will be all blank. Same with the business cards and the pieces of paper. So I'll go ahead and give you some cards here too. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5, and I'll give those to you.
Okay.
So those are going to be your 10 cards, and I'll take.
It's okay, you saw them?
Yeah, it's okay because it doesn't matter what the numbers are, just as long as they're just 10. Just 10 of opposite colors.
All right.
So what we're going to do is separate them into 2 piles. One is going to be the red color, and one is going to be black. And you can put them on your computer or on the table.
Set them down though somewhere?
Just set them down. Okay. And with your Uno cards, just make the colors separate. Okay, so
blues, greens. Put green on one side, blues on the other.
And then the X's on one side and the blanks on the other side.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Now what I want you to do is to pick up one of the piles of cards, take them, and I want you to go ahead and shuffle them. Just mix them up, nice and good. Drop them on the floor. That's fine. 52 card pickup.
That's not part of the trick. I'm not in on it. I don't know what you're doing.
Once you're satisfied, put it back down.
Okay.
Now take the other one and shuffle it up too.
All right, you guys got to be doing this at home. You got to be shuffling it up.
All right. Go ahead and shuffle,
if you're watching this in the car, please pull over, dude. Just you don't need no rest.
Do not do this in a car.
Live from the Rez does not advise
do not do it in a car. If you're driving, wait till you get home.
You should be doing this with your kids or your little brother, sister, or something.
Grab a group of people and do this, okay?
Go grab auntie or grandpa, go show them what's up.
All right, you good? All nice and mixed? Now we're going to combine the 2 piles together. Okay. So we're going to take a black card, place it in.
In the middle?
In the middle. Okay. And then take another, the red card. So you're alternating colors. So it goes red, black, black, and red. So you're alternating. So you get one big little pile of 10 cards.
I'm worried about messing this up here, but we're good. Okay.
So all of it is alternating. So with the Uno cards will be alternating. Okay. The X's will be alternating with the blanks.
All right.
All the way through. Okay. So you go ahead and pick up your little packet of cards, just to double check.
These have been individually shuffled, and then they've been
so they're all different.
Okay, we can show the camera that?
Yeah, you can show them they're alternated.
They're all black, red, black, red.
All right, so go ahead and place that in your hand. There should be face up.
Okay.
And I want you to turn the whole entire packet face down.
Turn the whole pack face down.
Now, what I want you to do is take the top 2 cards.
Okay.
Flip them over and place them on top of the packet.
Boom.
And you know how to cut cards, right?
You mean just like pull half?
Yeah, just cut half anywhere and place it into the middle of the packet.
Okay, and
just like that. Just anywhere, just like a normal cut. Like and you normally cutting the cards like the casino would cut the cards.
Boom, yeah. No, the casino does this though. They go, hey. All right,
that's true.
Eye in the sky.
Yeah. So now you're going to take the top 2 new cards again.
Okay.
You're going to flip those over face up.
Okay.
Onto the packet.
All right.
And now cut those into the pack.
Okay.
Anywhere you want.
Anywhere you want. All right.
Yeah, just cut them right in. Okay?
Okay.
Now we'll do it again. Take the top 2 cards. Now, if they're face up and face down, that's okay. Just flip them over.
Flip them. Okay.
And then cut them into the packet.
Okay.
Anywhere you want. There you go. Now, if you are born from January 1st through June 31st.
January 1st to June
31st.
Okay.
Take the top 2 cards, flip them over, and if it's okay, if it's a face up and face down, just flip them over and cut them into the packet.
Okay, but what if you weren't? You just leave it right now?
I'll get to that in a minute.
Okay, because I'm not.
Now, if you're born from July 1st through December 31st, don't do nothing, but just for the heck of it, take the top 2 cards, flip them over, and cut them into the packet.
Okay.
Anywhere you want.
All right.
So we have...
You're not going to start asking me for my social security number,
no,
right?
no.
Okay, this ain't the real check.
Now, we've done that maybe 4 times, and let's really mix it up. Let's do it about maybe... You can choose. You can do it 5, 6, or 7 more times.
Okay.
It's going to be up to you.
So just 2 cards.
2 cards, flip them over, cut them into the pack. Okay. And you can do it as many times as you want. 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, whatever you feel comfortable. Take the top 2 cards, flip them over.
Flip it up and reverse it.
Yeah. Cut it. Take the next top 2, flip
it.
Save
15% on Geico by the time you're doing this.
Yeah. Okay. Are you happy?
I'm happy, man.
Are you? I hope everybody else is happy too.
You guys all happy? We're happy? All right.
Now, let's take a look. Let's spread the cards between our hands.
Okay.
And how many cards do you have face down?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't even count. I feel like playing. It's not magic. It's called math. Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You have 6? I have 4. You see that? You have 6. I have 4 face down.
Oh,
and cool. You probably have maybe 1, 2 at home. You probably have 3 or 4. Even you probably have none.
Okay.
Okay, so it's all mixed up. So everybody has a different number.
Right.
Right? So what we're going to do now is take it and gather up into one little packet.
Put it back together.
And you're going to deal it into 2 separate piles. Where you're going to put 1 card to your left.
Okay.
And then 1 card to your right. And keep doing that. Left, right, left, right.
Okay.
So you have 2 piles of 5, like we did at the beginning.
Right.
Okay? Now, I want you to take one of the piles, doesn't matter, either one.
Okay.
Pick it up. Just like that.
Yeah.
And I want you to go ahead and shuffle it.
Okay.
Shuffle it any way you want. There you go. Oop.
God damn, my hands are all slippery. I was slicking my hair down before this. That's why. Usually old Crisco. No, I'm kidding. All right.
All right. You got. Yeah.
Sure. Let me go a couple more times just in case. All right. We're all in there.
You all good?
Yeah.
All right. Good. All right. So it's all mixed up. You know, it's just.
Yeah. There we go.
So yeah. Let's just flip that one.
Okay.
Like that.
All right.
Yeah, we'll make that one like that. So,
okay.
Now I want you to take the whole entire packet. And actually, no, we'll still flip this one face up and we'll flip that one face down. Okay. So it's like that. Okay. Good. Now what I want you to do is take the packet, flip it end for end.
Okay, so put them together.
And flip it
end for
over
end. Boom.
And place it on top of the other packet.
Right on top.
Right on top.
Bam.
Done
deal.
That's it. Yeah. Now, it may work, it may not.
Okay. I may have messed this up because I dropped my cards twice.
Yeah, you dropped them 2 times.
Too nervous, but at home it should work.
It should work, yeah. The word magic means a lot for a lot of people, and it means a lot for magicians, too.
For some people, magic means contraception.
Yes.
Make sure you use it. No, that's magic.
No,
that's magic. No,
but if you believe in the word magic, and you say magic really strong, all right? Say magic real strong.
Like magic. No.
No, you got to be strong.
Magic. No, that's weak. I got to have deep voice like magic.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Granny tree. Sorry, I'm going to my pal.
Now, you remember how many
magic.
You remember how many cards you had face down?
Earlier, like
earlier when we spread it, I had like 6 face down, and you had 6.
6. I had 6. Yeah.
Oh no, you had 4.
I had 4.
You had 6? I had 6. Yeah.
Or is the opposite?
I had 6. You had 4.
Okay.
Now you said magic, really strong, right?
Yeah.
Look what you did with my pack. Now I have 5 face down.
Interesting.
5 are face down.
Okay.
Now let's see how well you did.
All right, it's hard to do this here because everybody can see it, but let me just like this. So as I spread them out, you guys can't really see because my computer screen's in the way, but I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 face down. Boom.
I know, that's crazy, huh?
That's not bad.
But because you said magic are really, really strong.
Yeah.
Can you see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 black cards on my side?
Yeah.
Yeah. You separated them too. There's all the black. And all the other side is all the red.
You guys check your decks. Is that what's happening at home? Is that what's going on?
Red.
What the heck?
Now because you dropped it.
I dropped it. But here's the thing. The one I dropped, it's the 3. Other than that, they're all black and red. That's crazy. That's pretty cool, man.
Thank you.
You guys all see how to do that? I don't know how to do it, but I bet you if someone just repeated that with another person, it would probably work out, or no?
It will.
That's pretty cool.
If you do it again, just follow the steps.
That's tight, man.
And it will work.
Boom. But you got to say magic strong.
You got to feel magic.
I go do I don't have a naturally type voice, so when I do your cards, that's tight. When I do it, I go right into Power MC mode, here they come.
Yeah, you got to just
Southern accent drops in there out of nowhere. Why are you talking like you're from Oklahoma out of nowhere? But that's tight, dude. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
I can't tell you how many times you've done that to me with these real random tricks. I'm like, why do you do that? But that's a trip. The card I did drop, though, was the card that was all messed up.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
If I wouldn't have messed that up, it would have been...
It would have been perfect, but the 3 messed you up.
Yeah.
See, the 3 didn't like you. You dropped it.
Yeah.
The 3 did not like it because you dropped them on the floor.
So, where do you think this will all go with you for one day, man? Where are you going to take this? Just going to do this until you get old, do you think?
I think I might just keep doing it until I get old and I get tired. I don't see myself doing big grand showrooms and stuff. But my all-time big dream is to perform in the Magic Castle.
Oh, okay.
That's one of my all-time dreams, is to perform in the Magic Castle in either the close-up room or the parlor prestidigitation.
Those are kind of a big deal to perform in there. That's pretty cool. I think it'll happen, man.
And the prestidigitation is hands.
So what does that mean?
It means
sleight of hand,
stuff is what it is. Prestidigitation.
Yeah.
Hands.
That's cool. That's pretty cool. I know by nature you've always been you see something of interest, you go learn how to do it.
Yes.
I gotta commend you, man. If those of you guys can see, your necklace is tight.
Oh, thank you.
And you're telling me you made that.
Yes, I did.
I
made this. I got inspired last year of making beading. I got into beading last year, and I actually really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it brings it's another type of a thing that brought magic back into my life, is beading something and seeing how it comes out. And that's magic. It's like your UFC medallion there.
Yeah.
It's like you start out with something idea and you slowly work on it, and then all of a sudden it becomes this unique piece that you put yourself into.
Yeah.
It's like me putting myself into the magic and making people understand it. And it just brings out so much. And the reason I made the feathers is I like to bird sing.
Yeah.
That's something. But also I was in Morongo, and the way I made the feathers is that a guy told me, if you have the feathers going one way, is that you want people to give you energy. And when you have it the opposite way, you are giving the person energy.
Oh, I like that. That's cool.
That's what he was saying, because he had a ring. He was a jeweler. He made jewelry. And he had a ring that did that. And he told somebody that when you wear the ring one way, it means you're getting energy from the person. And when you wear the ring the opposite way, you're giving the person an energy.
And that's what you're doing with your magic, man.
Yes.
You're just throwing energy at people like that. That's pretty cool. That's very cool, actually.
Yeah.
You're right, though. Sometimes this is magic. This one right here, this UFC, I made this years ago, and actually I look at it, and it's like, I bead way better now, you know? But, but, you know, it's still cool. I like it. My wife went to the casino, talking about magic, and we were kind of, I mean, it was years ago. We were kind of broke, you know? My kids are young. We were just kind of end of the month type of thing. And I said, you know what? Go to the casino. Go try her luck. She's lucky. Oh. And I'm not. And sometimes, like, she'll win and I'll lose it. And I'm like, just go. We don't really gamble anymore these days. No, because I suck. But I like gambling, but I suck. But she went over and she won this jackpot, like, randomly. And what she did is, at the time, I was watching a lot of UFC. It was like the classic era of UFC with, I forgot who champion was at that time. I think it might have been Brock Lesnar might have been champion or something. But they used to have shows on that were The Ultimate Fighter, but they would have it there at the Hard Rock in Vegas. Well, she won, and she went and got me front row tickets to UFC. Oh, and I was like, what? That's so cool. But she told me, she goes, but it's this weekend. Like, we're going. I was like, what the heck? It's a great experience. So we got tickets, flew to Vegas, got front row. Wow. And it was such a small show where I was front row, and it was such a small show. It wasn't like one of those big venues where you kind of drown out, where it was real intimate, and all the UFC fighters were in the house. They were there, and I could just walk up to them and be like, hey, what up, man? And so anyways, leading up to it, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to beat a medallion. That'd be cool to wear a medallion because I might be on TV. Yeah. And so I got to work, like literally that night. I was all hyped up and I started beating and at the, you know, I still had work and all the things I was doing. So I was trying to beat it on the side. Well, I got it all situated and I was still edging it. Yeah. And we flew over there and it was crazy because I thought for sure they wouldn't let me do this, but on the plane, they didn't even notice. I wore it around my neck. You know, you take it off when you go through the checkpoints and all that. I got on the plane, and I had a needle with thread on it. Like I was sitting there on the plane, edging it as I was finishing. We got there just in time to go to the weigh-ins, went to the weigh-ins, and people saw it. It wasn't fully edged, but I just stuck the needle in. Yeah. And we're there enjoying the weigh-ins, and then I was kind of beating it as I was going. I had like hands, my beads in my hand. Yeah. And I was super ghetto and rushed. But I got it done, and then the next day when the main event happened, we were like walking places, and because we were kind of like front row, and because I had this, they were letting me get away with all kinds of stuff. They let me walk in the back. I think they thought I was like a VIP.
A pass.
Yeah, because they would kind of be like, you know, and they'd see them look at my necklace like, oh yeah, go ahead. And they were letting me do like whatever. So on the back, I had Dana White sign it. Oh, wow. I had Joe Rogan signed it.
Amazing.
The Shark signed it. Met Chuck Liddell. I met a bunch of dudes. Shane Carwin, he was a number 2 contender at the time. Yes. Big old giant man. He signed it. I had a bunch of people sign it. The ring card girls, they were there. I had a bunch of people sign it. You know, I was just, hey, you want to sign my thing? Ronda Rousey signed it. Oh wow! Yeah, I had a bunch of people sign it. I made the back out of like that black leather, so it's really easy to sign.
But that's an amazing piece. So that's a piece that you're going to keep for the rest of your life.
Yeah, you know, I mean, one of these days, I don't know, I just have it hanging. Sometimes I'll wear it tonight when you're coming over. I was like, I saw your bling. I'm like, I got to throw something special on too. We got to match it up. Yeah. But that's pretty good. You can keep beating, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to start doing that. I'm starting making like little keychains, like little 2-3 inch keychains. I'm going to try a bead. Right now I'm on beating a lighter.
Oh, nice.
Because some people do like the beading around the lighter.
Yeah, people do. And if you ever get to selling a lot of that, I'm telling you, beat it lighters, people are about because people lose their lighters all the time. Yeah. And even if they're beat it, they'll still lose them. But no, people like to beat it lighter because you don't lose them if they're beat it.
Yeah. Because it means a lot special. And also my wife, she's getting into making medicine pouches too.
Oh, nice. You guys be just crafting it up.
Yeah, she likes making medicine pouches. She got into doing that. She made a few medicine pouches for some of her friends and stuff. And she's asking, what do we put in? And I'm like, I don't know.
I guess they'll have to put their own medicine, but the pouch you guys make, that's tight. I like to throw on like a TV show. I've been watching. I was watching Friday Night Lights. I watched the whole thing. Watched Ozark, the whole thing. There's a lot of shows that I really like that we would watch the whole thing. But I just sit there and bead and do it like that. And then over the years, my wife will craft on stuff. It's it's a kind of
it's couples
out there that are looking for something to do. It's a nice
craft. Yeah, believe it or not, it's something that she likes making doll clothes. She likes making journals and stuff. So she'd be doing her thing, and I'll be doing my thing. And along the way, she'd be like, hey, can I ask you for a suggestion?
Yeah.
And I had to give her my suggestion, and she'd be like, okay. And then I asked her for her input on the beading stuff, and she's like, I'm asking, what colors can I use?
Yeah.
This color, this color, this color. Okay, thank you. And
That's cool. I know with me and my beading, like color is something that I used to struggle with back in the day, and then I learned that if you go online and you look up color wheel, Google color wheel, and if you want things to pop, you go opposites, and it makes it stand out. When I learned that, I was like, oh wow. And the other thing, a beater told me one time, were like, there's people that like study color and all this kind of stuff.
Yes.
They usually are the ones who make logos. So if you go look at sports logos, if you look at logos for big businesses, like not the actual design and stuff, but just look at how they use the colors to bounce off. They're like that. That's a nice way to let your mind go into the color realm. And it's like, it's true. Like those colors pop. The difference was like Seattle Seahawks, their colors. Yeah. The Raiders, like the black, white, gray. I mean, there's different colors like that just they pop, and there's a reason why the sports team uses them. They're marketing, and they look good. The fire colors, the water colors, I think people like that. The black, red, orange to the yellow to the white. Those are popular. I don't know. I really have like gotten into really liking color usage. You drop an orange on a blue and it makes things pop.
Yeah, it does. I did one. I did a lanyard with a gray, blue, and orange.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's just you kind of wouldn't think those would go together.
No, but they do.
But they do, and it looks really good when you put it together.
And
like that.
I figured out why did I pick these colors. Yeah. And I realized why I did it is because the hockey team here in San Diego, the Gulls, they have a blue.
Oh,
orange,
yeah, you're right.
And sometimes they have a little bit of gray in it.
Yeah.
And it's the Gulls.
Hey, you ever mess up? You ever just like do a trip and just mess up really bad?
I do.
And you're like,
I that has happened to me more times than none. And you just got to push through it. And once a trick messes up, you just be like, okay, let's do this one instead.
Do people get mad when you mess up, or do they kind of just
no? They just like something happened that he knew. That didn't work.
Or do they feel like it adds to it a little bit?
It adds actually. Believe it, it's
comedic value to that, right?
It is.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about magic that I like to do is that when I'm busking, it's more of like, how is the people going to react to my show?
Yeah.
And stuff, and how are kids going to react to my show? And there's been a lot of times. One time I had a little girl come up and help me with the old Chinese linking rings, which is a classic of magic. Yeah. And it's over 4,000 years old, believe it or not.
That trick is?
That trick is over 4,000 years old. Older than the cups and balls.
What's the oldest? Is that probably one of the oldest, I imagine?
A lot of people say that the cups and balls are the oldest. Okay. A lot of people say the rings are. Okay. But for magic, those are the classics. Those are like your go-to tricks that you've got to master first before you go on. Because the cups and balls will help you on sleight of hand. And the rings will help you.
Are they kind of almost like training?
Yes.
Ways to train you
it's a training tool. It is a training tool. Cups and balls for me is a training tool. Because you're doing a lot of stuff at the same time you're fooling people.
Yeah.
And if you don't master... a gentleman named Di Vernon is his name. He's passed now. Di Vernon was the professor of magic. Was his name? Di Vernon. Okay. He was known as a professor of magic, and he would always hang out at the Magic Castle up in Hollywood. And he said, in order to be a great magician, you have to master the cups and balls.
That, like, you have to. There's no way around it.
There's no way around it. You got to master the cups and balls because that is a very good fundamental magic trick that you would perform with. Because everybody sees the cups and balls. Everybody has seen it millions of times, but it still is a most beautiful trick because at the end of it, you get these baseballs that come out of the cups. You get oranges. Baby chicks come out of the cup. Anything you want.
Was that would you say that's your favorite trick?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite tricks.
Well, is there a trick you don't like doing that you kind of have to do?
Oh, I don't like the trick called spike.
Spike?
Yeah. And this has happened many, many times with other magicians where they would have 5 little circles. And one of them would have a spike, a giant nail, about 1 inch thick around, sticking up. And they would put bags over it. Or they would actually use a knife.
Oh, what the heck?
Yeah, and this is on YouTube videos all over the world, even on YouTube itself, where they go like this. They take their hand and they go over each bag and they slam it.
Oh, bro. Oh,
and they slam it and they slam until they get to the final one, and then they don't. And that's where the spike is. And they have the people mix it up. So they don't know where the spike is.
But there's got to be all kinds of times where that didn't work.
Oh, it has. And even the Magic Castle has banned that trick being ever performed because it happened one time there at night. And most of the time, magicians, I don't know why they do this, they would take the spectator's hand and slam it.
Oh, yeah, that's not fun.
And it has happened on a live newscast. There's a video of it that has happened on live newscast. And no matter what, I will never perform that trick. I don't like the trick. Yeah. It is too scary, and a lot of stuff can happen. Yeah, and it's proven it has happened badly. And I will not perform that trick.
You ever get into hypnotism?
No.
No. Is that part of magic, would you say, or is that a whole different thing?
That's a whole entire different thing. Yeah. But there are a lot of magicians who do hypnotism and magic. But for me, that's a whole entire different area. I don't associate hypnotism with magic.
It seems a little manipulative in some regards.
Yes.
Do people ask you for weird stuff like that sometimes? Or, or they kind of just say, do your thing, whatever it is?
Yeah, they sometimes just say, hey, can you do a trick?
Yeah.
I say, yeah. And there's times when people come up and I start doing a trick, they said, oh, I know what trick you're going to do.
Yeah.
And I said, I just stop and hand them the deck. I said, okay, do the trick. Like, if you know the trick, all right, show me.
Do it. Show us all.
Show us all. And I have put so many people on the spot like that.
Yeah.
And going back to busking, and I had a little girl come up to help me out with the trick. And in the middle of the trick, I gave her some of the rings. And I said, are the rings nice and solid? And the little girl took the rings and threw them onto the ground.
Oh, geez.
I was like, push her out of the way.
Get out of here, you little
I was like, thank you very much for helping me. Sir, do you mind helping me?
Oh, man.
And there's been so many.
Get your kid about a whooping.
Yeah, busking is a whole entire different animal. It's just that there's been many times when I've been doing them in the middle of a show. And one time a guy literally came up in my show and asked me to stop my show. I'm at the very end. I'm getting ready to put my hat out, do my final little pitch, my little spiel before all the grand big finale. Right. Of having a melon come out of my hat.
What the heck?
A melon. Okay. People expecting a rabbit. No, a melon a melon. And he literally comes up and tells me and wants me to stop because they're getting ready to propose. There's going to be a proposal.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. And
you didn't realize that was his moment? You could have put the ring under your hat and you could have helped him with it?
Yeah. And there's been many times where they have literally asked me to help them out in the proposal. Ask me to help them out doing a trick or something, or try to hide the guy and have the lady come up and then have him come in and propose right there.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You ever get requests every time it snows for people to borrow your hat to make Frosty come alive?
Oh, no.
You never into that one yet?
No, I have not.
And you haven't, what would you advise like a youngster or somebody, or an adult, somebody who just wants to get into magic?
If somebody wants to get into magic, find a mentor. Okay. Find a mentor or a little magic group or some other people.
Okay.
But go to books. Because that's going to give you more of reading and understanding of what's going on. And it even will help you think of what's going to look like in your head. And now we have YouTube and online instructions and stuff where people are showing you how to do these tricks. That's good and all. I don't mind that, but I feel like you're taking away the magic by teaching them the trick than having them go out and having them work on the trick and finding the trick themselves. And speaking of that, one day I did a trick to a young man in Balboa Park. I was performing for him, and he had a big brother figure there. And he's like, how did you learn this? I said, your local library? He's like, yeah, they have magic books in there. And that's where I learned. He's like, really? And he looked at his big brother, and he's like, do you want to go to the library and find these books? Yeah, can we go today? Yeah, they don't close. Let's go. So him and his big brother went to the library.
Well, I think people think you probably would, like, you have to go to, like,
a magic shop.
The magic shop or the Tibetan monks of, like, where Doctor Strange learned how to do his stuff from Marvel movies.
But, yeah, you do have to go, if you want to get, like, the magician name brand books, that's where you would go. There's so many magicians that have put out so many books over the years. There's books on Di Vernon. There's books on Houdini. Some of my favorite magicians who wrote books are David Regal. A lot of these people I speak of, nobody has ever heard of. There's a gentleman who's put out some videos, Chris Capehart, Cosmo, Darwin Ortiz, who's done some books. And there's so many books out there. And they keep coming out with new books. If
you're passionate, you just keep going down those rabbit holes and learning all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. And you just keep getting another book. And
the only magician I know is old Arnold from Smoke Signals. And he said, poof, it all goes away. Remember that in the movie?
Yes.
Like, poof, it's all gone. Nah, but yeah. I mean, imagine, like, magic's old, right? It's old.
Oh, it goes way back when. It's like, goes all the way to the ancient China, I believe.
Is that where it kind of starts out? That's where
I believe so. A lot of people say it started in Egypt.
Okay.
And I believe it started even in Arabs or medieval era.
Yeah.
Is where probably magic started too.
I imagine, like, even going back to prehistoric man or whatever, there's probably something inside of us that likes to be mystified or likes to see something kind of like shock somebody or to fool somebody in a way that's not going to hurt them, just to fool them. And I'm sure all magic's based in those kind of basic emotions a little bit.
Now,
might be as old as humans. I don't know.
Okay, now I had some names come into my head that you said, who are my favorite magicians?
Okay.
Some of my favorite magicians are Johnny Ace Palmer, Pop Hayden, and Leonard Green.
Okay. What's spectacular about them?
Johnny Ace Palmer is a grand champion of magic. He's a FISM winner, I believe. And Pop Hayden is just an old-time Western type of a guy. And he's just very funny with the punchlines and stuff, but he does some beautiful magic. If you get a chance, they always perform at the Magic Castle, but if you do ever get a chance to see them outside the Magic Castle performing at street fairs or something, amazing people. Johnny Ace Palmer, he has a whole entire routine. It's so beautiful. And his grand finale is the cups and balls. But at the end of it, he produces 3 little chicks, live baby little chicks from the cups.
That's gnarly.
It's crazy. Oh, and also Andrew Goldenhirsch is another incredible magician. So
do these magicians, do you think, I mean, like in their regular life, they're going around, like when they're on stage, they have this presence.
Oh, yeah.
Doing this do you think some of those guys live that all the time? Like, they're just at the market, like, hey, excuse me, there's somebody in your ear? Or, I mean, that's kind of a corny thought, but there's definitely an eccentric personality that does this. Seems like,
but a lot of people don't know these people's names I'm throwing out there. These are all
like if you just saw him in the restaurant, you wouldn't know that dude's like a world famous magician, right?
No, you wouldn't. But Andrew Goldenhirsch, he does an incredible trick in the close-up room, and he does a trick where he has a tattoo of a butterfly on his arm, and he peels it off, and then he folds it up, and then a real butterfly flies away.
What the heck?
I'm not joking you. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And me and my wife, we went up there to go see him perform. We're sitting in the close-up room at the castle, Magic Castle, and we're sitting down there, and then he's doing all these neat little tricks. And one time he did a trick where he has long hair.
Yeah.
And he said, I want to show you something. He gathers up all his hair like this and puts it on the table. And I'm sorry for my language.
All good.
A rabbit comes out of his hair.
Oh, really?
A real live little rabbit comes out of his hair.
I mean, I've seen like bugs come out of the hair.
Yeah, you've seen rabbits coming out of the hat.
Poor rabbit, huh?
But a little tiny rabbit comes out of his hair.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there, and he comes right up to my wife. Would you like to touch it?
Yeah.
And my wife's like, yeah. And he throws down his hair. Go ahead and feel it. Isn't it real? And and then, can you hold the rabbit? He gave her the rabbit to hold for the rest of the show.
Oh, that was pretty cool.
And that made her night.
Yeah, it really
just,
part of it.
I'm just like, oh my God, you don't. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Hey, your wife, did she know you did magic? Or when you met her? Or did you lead in like, hello, the Magic Man Kenny's in the house?
She knew I did
show
magic.
you where the magic happens. Or
how we met was very unique. We met at Scream Zone, believe it or not. Uh-huh. She worked in the haunted hayride section. I worked over in the tent section of the Scream Zone.
Yeah.
And at the end of the work night, we would go over to Denny's and eat and talk about our night and stuff. Yeah. I didn't know about that. I just came home, and one night I had somebody, hey, Kenny, come over to Denny's, show the other people your magic tricks. So I started doing my magic tricks. And I would see her sitting all by herself in a booth. And then I was like, you know what? I got to go over there.
Got to make the real magic happen.
I got to go over there, and I said, hi, I'm Kenny, and we introduced, and I kept on talking to her and stuff throughout the whole entire year and stuff, and then.
That's cool. You guys got beautiful huskies now?
Oh, we have 2 white huskies, yeah beautiful white huskies. Their names are Zeus and Winter, and they are rescues. We get rescue animals, and we found they are both rescues.
Okay.
And we have a rabbit who's a rescue too. So all animals that are at my home are all rescued animals. And if anybody is looking to buy a rabbit, a dog, or anything of that, or a cat, go to the shelter. Always, please go to the shelter, because you wouldn't believe how many dogs are in the shelter, especially huskies.
Yeah, you would think those are such nice dogs. People spend so much money on them.
They do.
But people, especially in San Diego, they want a husky because of the look. But then they want a yard. Those dogs need a little room to run. They need
about a good acre of yard. And you got to take them out weekly.
And that's the problem. When people don't, they get them, and then they just get rid of them real quick.
And they don't take them out running, and they're like, why is my dog being so destructive? You got to exercise them. They're bred to pull a sled in the cold. That's what they're meant to do. They're working dogs.
Yeah.
So we try to take them walking up the trails around to the Rez, or we take them out and we walk them around. And a lot of people think that our dogs are wolves.
Yeah, I kind of thought so.
No, they're Siberian Huskies. They're white Siberian Huskies.
They're beautiful.
People
they're really well behaved. I saw you growing a powwow and you're walking around. They were chilling. They weren't giving nobody no hard time.
No.
I mean, they're being on their best behavior, I'm sure.
Somewhat.
Yeah, they're beautiful dogs, though.
Yeah.
You know what? That's someone will ask you too. The Scream Zone. That's pretty cool. Those of you guys don't know. I don't know how everybody else's cities are, but here in San Diego, we have those haunted houses on roids. Essentially, I mean, there's just these big productions where it's all built up, and you have all these guys that are cast members out there scaring the crap out of everybody. And you're one of those dudes.
Oh man, it was so fun doing it. First year I didn't know what I got myself.
How many years have you done it now?
I did it until 2019. I started in 2012. Okay. And I ended in 2019.
That's tight. Yeah, I remember when you told me you did that. I was like, "What do you mean you're working at Scream Zone?
Yeah.
Like you're scaring people?"
Yeah, people love to be scared, and people actually do love being the people who are the actors to scare people. People just like seeing people literally scream, run, and I
always feel lame because you know what? I like going to those. I like the vibe. My kids love it. All that. I just don't get scared. There's something in my brain where I go, this isn't real. And it doesn't, I don't. Yeah. But I enjoy it. I'll walk through it. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I can't let myself get scared. I don't know. It's kind of a bummer because I wish I could because it's fun. It
is. Fun. Trust me. One of these times you will get scared. If you're not looking for it, you would get scared.
You know when I got scared the other day? I was walking down in town. I was by Logan.
Yeah.
And I was looking at this dude's house. He had a fence. Looking at somebody's yard. Had a bunch of stuff. And something caught my eye. And out of nowhere, 2 little dogs came up and started barking. Dude, that scared the hell out of me. I was like, what the hell? Man, I must have jumped like 2 feet. I was like, what the heck? That scared me. But yeah, so, something probably will scare me or has. But I just generally, I don't get all creeped out or spooked out. And I wish I kind of did because it's fun. And but my kids, they love it. You know, it's fun. It's we have a really good network of that in San Diego. There's usually, you know, with obviously the pandemic, it's made everything funky. But prior to that, man, we had like the Haunted Hotel.
You had Scream Zone, and you had the Haunted Trail in Balboa Park, and then you had Disturbance, which was a nice little outdoor one. But recently, the place for the Haunted Hotel has closed down. The landlord did not renew their lease for the basement part of the hotel. So there's no longer a Haunted Hotel in downtown San Diego.
That's a bummer.
It's really sad.
The Scream Zone, that's at Del Mar?
That's in Del Mar.
That's the Big Daddy, pretty much, right? That's the big one? Or is...
No, that's kind of like... Well, all the attractions are sisters.
Oh, okay.
So that everybody's like a little sister. So they rotate the props around between each attraction.
Really? I never knew that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like little sisters there and everything like that. So it's like it was a great thing.
You know what did scare the crap out of me one time was I went to Knott's Scary Farm and those dudes will come sliding in on these like knee boards that are
sliders,
metal.
Yes.
Yeah, and I wasn't expecting. I was really, really foggy, and we're just kind of walking, and this dude come sliding in. I thought he was gonna take me. I was like, "Hey, what the?" Oh man, that was fun. That's a cool one.
Yeah, the Queen Mary has that too.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Is there any of those that you don't like? Those like Scream Zone type places. Anyone you don't like? They're all pretty good, huh?
They're all good. The one I will not go to is 17th Door.
Where's that at?
That's in Orange County area.
Oh, okay.
They touch you.
Oh,
they do a lot of stuff where they'll touch you, physically touch you and everything. Yeah. And you sign a waiver before you go in.
Sure.
I'm sorry. I'm about going into a haunted house where it's 100% safe. 100% safe where nobody's going to get hurt. You're just going to get scared. You might run into people by accident by getting screamed at. But I will not go to a haunted attraction where they're going to touch you or physically harm you. I'm just like, I'm not into that type of stuff. Yeah,
accidents happen. And you know what? It's at their own risk, too, because sometimes, you come out of some left field and someone gets touched. Sometimes, there are people out there who train to fight. That have been in violence. You know, and it's like some people will just react and pop them without... You know, and feel bad about it, but that's just some people respond in that way. I would be leery of touching somebody and them just turn around and popping me.
Believe it or not, I have almost got punched.
I bet.
I have almost got punched. One time, I scared somebody so bad, they came around and they smacked me across my face.
Oh, that's so messed up.
They smacked me, and I'm like, whoa.
Was this a woman? Or?
It was a woman. I kid you not.
Don't be letting no dude put hands on you.
No. She just came out of nowhere, and I scared her, like, because at the time I was doing a different character for Scream Zone, and they had them like 5 of us walking out in the area where all the lines and the food area are scaring people, running around. I was chasing people around in and out of lines, and people are just sitting back watching like, there he goes. And one time I scared this woman, and she literally just smacked me right across the face. I'm like, hello. I told security what happened, and they're like, what do you want to do? You want to kick her out? When, I'm like, as long as she does not do it to anybody else.
Yeah, don't smack nobody else.
It was just a reflex is what it was.
Yeah.
It was nothing harmful. She got really scared, and she just it was a fright or flight move.
Yeah, it was a reflex, right?
It was a reflex. Yeah, all it was but there's been incidents where people have went into the attraction and literally went fighting the actors, literally.
That's gnarly.
Punching.
Yeah.
It's just really crazy because one time we had a guest come in and he started just strangling the actors.
What?
Like crazily, all the way through, and then we had security come in, tackle him, take him out, and it was.
That's terrible. It's like, come on, man. You know where you're going. You know they're going to try to scare the hell out of you. I mean, the one I do see where people can get scared is when they pull out the big chainsaw because there's no chain on there, but people are like, it's a real chainsaw. It is a real chainsaw.
It is a real chainsaw, but it's not going to cut you. It's just the sound.
It's just the sound and the little bit of wind that comes off it where it's kind of like, I can see people get weird about that, but I mean, everything else you should expect.
I got to play with the chainsaw a couple of nights. Oh, gosh, that was so fun. It was so fun.
One time, my kids and I, we set up a bunch of stuff in our front house here for Halloween. And, I got 5 kids and my wife, and I had a couple nephews come over and stuff. And they were hanging out in the field. Oh. So, you pull into my spot here. And it's like on Halloween night, it's kind of dark. They're kind of driving in, and we're out here on the res.
Yeah.
And you just like pull in, you just randomly see like a Jason or Mike Myers standing out there walking in with a knife. And most people go like, oh, it's scary. And then they come up and, someone's dressed like a zombie and they start moving,
Yeah.
And usually I'm sitting there so they don't get flipping out, but I'll get up and start breakdancing or something stupid. But we had a, I won't say who, but in our community they came and they're bringing their a couple of young grandkids. And this lady had like a conniption. She totally fell apart. And I felt so bad. We turned all the lights like, hey, and like they left and everything. And the kids weren't even scared. She was scared. She came and she was like, oh my God. She was like, she got super emotional. And we were like, I don't know if we want to do this again. Just because I felt bad. I think like I feel like her brain, like she got jarred a little bit. Triggered her a little bit. And he came back. He goes, oh, I'm really sorry, because she started like screaming.
Oh,
and
boy.
I was like, what do we do here? We were just kind of, she like she got triggered by it. That was my one. We did it a couple years. Then after that, we were kind of like,
no.
We'll do it fun. I want to do this coming up year or whenever everything gets normal. I was always wanting to do with my kids the Thriller, my MJ Thriller.
Oh yes,
Michael Jackson. And then when they come up, do the little dance. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know. I'm corny like that with my kids. They're getting too old for that. They kind of look at me like, "No, we ain't gonna do that." But we used to do like, the Whip and Nene. We did that all dressed up like Halloween characters and stuff. I don't know. I like to be festive like that. It's fun.
But the magic nowadays has kind of like lost a little bit of its lust, I feel.
Really?
Yeah, because the internet has taken over so much of the magic of where you can learn everything online now.
Oh, I bet.
You can learn, and all the magic shops are now online.
And nobody has patience, right? They're not going to sit there and
has patience.
They're going to Google real quick what the trick is.
Yeah, they're going to Google it, and there's people on YouTube are going to break down how the trick works.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you ruining this? Are you just a type of person who just wants to really ruin the magic for everybody? Sure. Come on, let everybody enjoy the magic and let them figure it out themselves. And what I miss the most is the brick and mortar magic shops, like we said before. Like there was a magic shop in Seaport Village. There was a professional magic shop in Kearney Mesa, believe it or not, in the 90s called Brad Burt's Magic Shop. And that's just something that you don't see anymore is a brick and mortar shop that has all the props and stuff. And you can walk in and the guy could tell you, how can I help you? And he could tell if you're new or if you know your magic, you can ask him, hey, do you happen to have this, or this, or this? Yes, no problem. I have it right here.
Yeah.
And now you got to buy it online and you got to wait for a week or 2 weeks. And if a magician goes out to perform somewhere and there's no brick and mortar shop, they can't buy the prop if they forgot it at home.
Yeah.
So it's like, do I drive for 2 hours back to get my prop, or do I come back? And that's one thing, because when I went to the Brad Burt's Magic Shop, there was always magicians in there hanging out, doing tricks and everything.
The whole vibe.
It was a vibe, chill. Yeah. And you would ask them questions. How can I see this trick? Or I'd be like, I don't think that trick's good for you. Try this one instead.
Yeah.
Like they would know your skill level just by looking at you and hearing your experience of what magic would be.
That's pretty cool. I know one time I went to the travel hall. Everybody gets all their...
Yes.
Our addresses out here are whack because we're on the res. Like, I always think, like, if someone's going to try to come attack me at my house and they get my address, good luck. You ain't going to find my house.
Oh, no.
Our addresses are all messed up, which is, like I said, sometimes a good thing.
Yes.
Unless you're trying to get stuff sent to your house. So we all, in my res, we all get everything sent to the travel hall, and then we go pick it up.
Yep.
I went down there one time, and you had some stuff in there. Yep. I was looking for my stuff, and I found my stuff.
And you seen it says... Vanish Ink.
Yeah, it is your name on there. And I was like, my brain went, I wonder what's in that box, dude. What is Kenny ordering? He's probably ordering some craziness, dude. What's in that box? I was like, you know what? Maybe I don't want to know. It was probably something. It was probably
you really wanted to take
DVD.
You really wanted to like slit it a little bit to peek. I wanted to know what this trick is.
It's like, I don't know, there's a little gremlin in there or something. I don't know. But, yeah, you just kind of like, what is this dude ordering up, man? I wonder what he's got in there. It's got to be some magic stuff.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So how do people get a hold of you, man? They want to book you?
You can book me at Magic Juggler juggling@gmail.com. That's my direct email. I check it every single day. Also, you can send a Facebook message through the Magic of Juggling of Kenny Shelton Facebook page.
Oh, you have a page?
Yeah, I have a page, the Magic of Juggling of Kenny Shelton Facebook page. And you can contact me that way, too.
Okay, cool. Go give a like and a share and all that kind of stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're out of area, fly Kenny in, man. All you guys out there put on conferences, you're looking for natives to come into town and show the kids something, call Kenny up. And if you're San Diego, hit him up. He'll come through. Obviously, like you said, he's safe with the COVID stuff. So,
yes.
He might not be able to do everything for you, but he'll do some stuff. And then you're on Instagram, though, right?
Yeah, it's Magic Juggler KS. I haven't really updated in there.
It's hard to keep up with all the things, right?
keep up with all this Instagram, Facebook, and it's like, what do I want to put out there so people can see? Because maybe already people have already seen this or already seen that. Yeah. And there are some YouTube videos of me performing in Balboa Park. If you look up Magician Balboa Park, you'll see a couple of little clips in there. That's
cool. Yeah, I feel the same thing with Live from the Rez. I have a beating page, Master Beater, the Master Beater, whatever. But it's like when I was doing a lot of Facebook, so I'd update it, keep it going, and then it's like a fire. You build it, and it seems like it's flowing. You get a lot of likes, a lot of response, a lot of attention. And then I was over on Instagram doing that, and I kind of let my Facebook go. And then it seemed like the Facebook gets no likes, no love, no nothing, because I'm not on it a lot. So it's hard to do all of them unless you're just sitting there on your phone all day. And end of the day, I think word of mouth probably. It seems like Indian country. It always seems to work still.
Well, do you have your cell phone on you?
Yeah, I do actually.
Oh, good. I got
Don't ask me to swipe left.
Oh no, I have a trick for you.
Uh-oh, here we go.
I have a trick for you. We're going to use your phone for this one.
Okay.
And we're going to put it on the camera mode.
Okay.
And we'll get back to that in a minute.
Okay, so put it on camera?
Put it on camera, and we'll get back to that in a minute.
A video or photo?
Just photo.
Okay.
Just photo. Because I'm going to take a picture of you here in a minute, okay?
Okay.
So what I'm going to have you do, Ralph, is I'm going to have you pick out any cards you like. Okay? Just reach in and grab any card you like.
Okay. Right there?
That one?
Sure.
Okay. Are you happy with that one?
I like it.
Now, look, you remember, you could have picked any one of these cards, okay?
Uh-huh.
You could have picked any one of these cards in here. And do you want to change your mind for anyone, or are you happy?
I'll keep this card.
You keep that one?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm straight.
Now, what we're going to do is that we're going to take half the cards face up.
Okay.
Half the cards face down, and we're going to mix them up.
All right.
All right. So we're going to mix them up, face up and face down. Just like...
What do they call that? That's
a pharaoh.
That's the pharaoh shuffle.
Yeah, that's the pharaoh shuffle. So we're going to just put that one. It wasn't perfect the first time. There we go. Yeah. That should work. Okay, goes in there like that.
All right.
So all the cards are face up, face down. And so they're all mixed up, face up, face down, face up, face down, face up, face down, face up. And what I want you to do is whenever I flip through here, just tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Right there, go place the card face down.
Boom.
Goes in. So it goes in face out, face down. Cards still mix all the way through.
Sure.
And we're going to shuffle it up one more time.
All right.
So you can see all the cards going in.
Every other card.
Every
the
other
pharaoh
card.
shuffle. I just learned that. That's pretty tight.
Yep. And we're going to mix it up. And I want you to hold your hands like this.
Boom. Forget about it.
All right. And I'm going to have you hold the deck of cards just like this. And you can see the cards all still mixed, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Good. Hold that just like that. And I'm going to take a picture of you holding the cards right here. Perfect. Excellent. And I'm just going to leave that right there.
All right.
And go ahead and close the fan.
Okay.
Just close it up. Okay. Just like that. Now here, I want you to hold the cards in your hand.
Okay.
All right. Just hold them just like this in your hand. And put your other hand on top. Okay. Now, you're thinking of your card that you picked? Yeah. You're thinking of it?
Thinking of it.
All right. I want you to think of your card. And just right now, imagine all the cards going face down.
Okay.
And you're the only card that is face up.
Okay.
Take a look. Look.
Oh, go look through?
Yeah, go through. See, all the cards should be face. Uh-oh. Oh, that was your card?
That's my card.
You know, you I didn't mean these cards.
No?
I meant the ones in the photo.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Take a look.
All right, here we go.
Take a look at the photo.
What are we doing here? Oh, what the heck? That was the card, though. I found it.
Yeah.
What the heck? That's pretty tight, man. Let me see if I turn my thing up here. You probably guys can't see it, but I'll throw it on there. Anyways, that's tight. I ain't gonna lie, that's pretty tight. You probably just sit there and do that like I don't know, Thanksgiving, Christmas. You're just sitting there doing that.
Sometimes, yeah.
Or does it get old? Do you ever get old and tired of it? You're just like, eh.
Sometimes I do get old and tired. It's like right now I'm a little burned out of busking because I really have to rethink myself because a couple of years ago I went out there and tried to perform again, and people weren't really into it anymore. It seemed like. Maybe some were, some weren't. It was just
changing times. I'm telling you, man, this pandemic's got everybody acting weird when we're, and I get it. There's a real reason for that, but it's like when we interact with each other, like, do you shake hands, hug, fist bump? Do you just nod? People are weird with like social engagements right now. So something like what you're doing has got to be a little hard on people to feel comfortable just to talk to some random person. Yeah. Or to conglomerate in a circle. Mm-hmm. 10 strangers watching a trick you're doing. That's kind of hard to do. I think,
it is, but there are still some people who do want to go out there to Balboa Park and be entertained, and there are people who just don't want to be entertained at all.
I bet, man. There's always that one cranky person. Well, man, I thank you so much for
thank you
coming in. You got to do this again. I love your tricks. I always love seeing it. Thanks for sharing some of your magic here, Kenny. It's always been a pleasure knowing you, man, all these years.
It's been a pleasure knowing you too, Ralph.
Thanks, man. And your beadwork's on point.
Thank you.
I ain't going to lie, man.
Thank you.
You got to come up with a cool name for that. Magic beads or something.
Well, I am going to work on doing a magic trick that involves beads.
Oh, there we go. I can't wait, man. All right. Live from the Rez. Holla.